Couple of big headlines this afternoon as it relates to the pandemic. First, the CDC issuing an urgent, their word, urgent health advisory late this afternoon aimed directly at anybody who might be pregnant or who's hoping to become pregnant. And the message? Get vaccinated. The CDC saying it strongly recommends the vaccines either before or during pregnancy because the benefits of getting the shot outweigh the potential risks. We're also following that big shift from YouTube today and how it handles what it's calling harmful vaccine content with a big crackdown that blocks a whole bunch of popular anti-vaccine accounts. With me now is infectious diseases physician Dr. Naheed Bhadelia, an MSNBC medical contributor and NBC News technology reporter, Brandy Zadrozny. Good afternoon to both of you. And Dr. Bhadelia, let me start with you and this urgent, as it's called, advisory from the CDC. It mentions just 31% of pregnant women have gotten the vaccine. And among black women, that number drops below 16%. You're looking at the numbers on your screen now. What's your sense of why there are still so many holdouts when we've known for months now that the benefits of getting the vaccine, and you know I've been reporting on this for the better part of this year, the vaccine has benefits that are better for pregnant women, right, versus the risks of getting COVID while pregnant, which we know can be really dangerous.
Hallie, that's right. And one of the reasons is, I mean, look, what they're saying is 2/3 of pregnant women are not vaccinated. And in August, they saw more deaths among pregnant women with COVID than in any other month during this pandemic. And what we know is that if you're pregnant and you get infected with COVID and you have symptomatic COVID, you have about twice the chance of ending up in the ICU and 70% greater chance of passing away from this, bad outcomes potentially for the fetus as well, low preterm labor, low birth weight. One of the reasons I think that, there is that early caution is that pregnant women, not as many pregnant women were part of the initial trials, but since then we've gotten more trials that have included that. And not only that, now we have animal data, we have the trial data, and we have millions of people who've gotten this vaccine, including over 5,000 pregnancies that have been recorded in CDC's Be Safe system. And all of that says that COVID-19 vaccines are safe in pregnancy. They have an immense benefit for the mother. They have an immense benefit for the children because you're passing on those antibodies to your baby and they're protected as well. I cannot stress that enough. And I'll also go ahead because there's so much misinformation around this. And I think that this plays one of the reasons why you're seeing this hesitation. Is that the American College of OBGYNs, the Society of Maternal Fetal Medicine, they all recommend the vaccine. They're not saying talk to your, consider this as a risk benefit. They're recommending it, outright recommending it. So I would really recommend pregnant women receive the vaccine now that we have that track record of safety.
You make an important point here, which is the link to misinformation here and why there is a hesitation among some pregnant people to get the vaccine because of communities that sprout up, as you know, online where people talk, right? And there may be some women who are hesitant, who are like, hey, I'm pregnant. I don't want to put anything in my body that I don't know what it is. But we can't stress enough, right, that the risk of getting COVID while pregnant is way worse than any of the potential risks from a vaccine.
That's right. And it's even beyond pregnant women, right? I've seen so much disinformation aimed against women of reproductive age, making this sound like this is a genetic vaccine. The COVID-19 vaccine does not impact your DNA, does not have impact to your genetics. It's talking about, when we talk about RNA vaccines, we're actually talking about the RNA of a protein of the virus. So it does not infect the mother. It does not cause any of the misinformation that you're seeing out there. It's beneficial in protecting against the disease.
Brandy, this sets up this conversation with you because as we talk about misinformation as it relates to the vaccine, YouTube is now cracking down on some of that. Give us a sense of the scale. Will it make a difference on YouTube, right, given how big the platform is? What's your sense?
Oh, man, it's so hard. This new policy extends to all anti-vaccine messaging. So it already had a policy against COVID-19 vaccine misinformation, but this gets all of them. So that's including that old lie that vaccines cause autism or cancer in children. Now, anti-vaccine misinformation has always had a huge home on YouTube. It's just like for over a decade, anti-vax creators have flourished there. And this morning, anti-vax influencers like Joseph Mercola and RFK Jr. were wiped from the platform, but we actually haven't seen them hit the lower tier influencers yet. And that's really the engine behind the movement. So YouTube now says they're going to ban content that either falsely claims the vaccines are dangerous or that they're ineffective. And they're going to face a really huge, complicated content moderation challenge here. Anti-vaccine content is really hard to moderate because it often comes in stories. So, we just heard some science, but I have a video of a child shaking uncontrollably and then someone saying it's caused by vaccines. Those stories are firsthand accounts. They're compelling video content, even when it's false. So, it's only going to get worse, by the way, when a vaccine is approved for children under 12, and that's supposed to happen within the next few weeks. So that's part of the reasoning probably that YouTube is making this move now.
That's a smart point. Brandy Zadrozny, thank you so much. Dr. Naheed Bhadelia, as always, thank you.